Hello grade 12s and welcome to the lesson on future value annuities. Here we go. So that's the important formula that we're going to be using for this section. It's that long formula and it's on the information sheet luckily, so you don't have to worry about knowing it. That's just the first section to get you started, and it was created by me, so take it down. Okay, so number 1 states, Silo is expecting a child and wants to save for his child's education. He opens an investment account and immediately deposits 650 rands into the account, which earns 9.6% per annum compounded monthly. Thereafter, he deposits 650 rands at the end of each month for 18 years. What is the value of his savings at the end of the 18-year period? So, usually, in order to make sense of it all, timelines are drawn, but we won't use this space because it's too limited. So for number 1, here's a timeline. Okay, should use then others in between. So it's T0, T1, T2, right? We are told that he immediately deposits 650,000, right? And in the subsequent months, right? Up until the last month for 18 years. So it's monthly, right? So it's going to be 18 times 12, which is 216. So up until T216, right? So we can see from our timeline, X is 650 rands. I is 9.6% over monthly 12. (0,008). N is 216 plus 1, which for the immediately. So N is 217, right? Because we've already done everything. So it's just going to be a direct substitution. So we're going to write the formula down. Over I. X is 650 rands. (0,008) to the power of 217 minus 1. Just for the sake of board mass, remember amounts are always in 2 decimal points. So we get future value is 376,637 and 55 cents. Right. Number 2 states Sina decides to save money for her retirement. At the end of each quarter, she deposits 1,000 rands into an account at Baloyi Trust Bank, which earns an interest rate of 7.8% per annum compounded quarterly. 2.1 states, determine the balance of Sina's account after 20 years. So this is an investment, right? She's investing for the future, for her retirement. So by virtue of that, we know we're dealing with future value. So X is 1,000 rands, right? And then I is 7.8%. Quarterly we divide by 4. (0,0195). So N, as we have just learned, is 20 times 4, 80, right? So it's just, we're going to write the formula first. Power of 80 minus 1. I'm getting 189,123 and 12 cents, right? So 2.2 asks, how much money did Sina deposit into her account over 20 years? So simple formula, deposit X times N, right? X is 1,000 rands. N is 80. So it's 1,000 times 80. So Sina deposited 80,000 rands. Okay, it's pretty straightforward. Okay, number 3 states, Agnes is planning a trip to Mauritius in 2 years' time. She makes an itinerary for her holiday and expects the trip to cost 40,000 rand. How much must she save at the end of 3 months if her savings account earns 8.5% per annum compounded quarterly? So this time we have F. We have F, which is 40,000. Right. Okay. And then we have N, which is 2 years, but it's compounded quarterly, right? So quarterly it's 4. 2 times 4 is 8. We also have I, which is 8%, but it's also quarterly. 0.02. We don't have X. So first we write down our formula. So we know F is so just going to cross multiply. It's going to be X 1,02 to the power of 8 minus 1 being equal to 40,000 times 0,02, right? So to simplify, we divide both sides by this. So it's just going to be X is so the quarterly deposits that she's supposed to do are 4,660 and 39 cents. Okay, we move to number 4. Albert wants to start a business in 5 years' time and calculates that he will need startup capital with 17,597 and 9 cents. How much must he deposit every 6 months into a savings account which earns 7% per annum compounded semi-annually in order to have enough capital. Once more, we have a unique problem here. So we know that N is in 5 years' time, but it's semi-annually, right? So it's 5 times 2, which is 10. And then F is 17,597 and 9 cents. We know that I is 7%. Semi-annually, we divide that by 2. $0.035. We don't know X. So as usual, we write our formula. Then we substitute. We know that F is 17,597 and 9 cents. To the power 10 minus 1. So for the lack of space, 0.035. So as usual, we cross multiply X 1.035. Times 0.035. Okay. We divide both sides by this, so it's just going to be final answer. So to 2 decimal places, X is 1,500. That's it for part 1. Let's take a short break and then I'll see you in part 2.